whether it's adventuring, rock climbing, or running in the canyon, or boating, or now this crazy running this business and trying to figure this out is one heck of an adventure because I have a degree in forestry and now I make lube.
I like that saying, venturing into the unknown. I think runners do that, don't we? Maybe your first 100 miler, I'm going to do that. My first 250
Or
is
even
venturing.
10K.
Or
First time,
well,
like, oh my
even
goodness, I've only run 2 miles and I'm going to try a 10.
welcome everybody to Running Strong Mind Body Connection podcast. I'm your host, Karen Bonnet-Natraj, and I always bring to the platform some amazing guests. And today, my guest is, guess who it is? Chris Thornley with Squirrel Nut Butter.
Hi,
So
everyone.
we're twins today.
Thanks for having me, Karen.
Thanks for coming
You
back.
dressed up very nicely.
Thanks to you. So welcome to my podcast, Chris.
Yes, looking forward to it.
So super excited to have you here. So people may not know Chris, but he is the owner
The owner of
and
Squirrel's
the
Nut Butter.
Squirrel's Nut Butter. That stuff you put lube on, you lube up yourself to get rid of all that chafing. Trust me, if you're a runner, you want it. And I will post a link where you can get 15% off in the YouTube channel on my show notes. So go there. Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh my goodness.
Tell us
Where
who
do I
you
start?
are. Not from
Who
birth.
am I? Well, I grew up in cool California. So the runners out there, that's around mile 85 at Western States 100. And which is quite a treat to be a kid in that area, especially
Right.
back in the late 70s and early 80s. It's much different now, but it's still just a truly amazing place. And then eventually went up to Humboldt County and got a degree in forestry in Arcata from Humboldt State, and then moved down here to Flagstaff, where we're at right now. And I've been here since 1993. Who am I? Boy, I don't know. I'd say I'm an adventurer at heart. I love, I love being in the space of the unknown and really embracing like not knowing what's about to be presented to me. And I like putting myself in that environment. I seem to thrive on it, and that's what keeps me going every day. Whether it's adventuring, rock climbing, or running in the canyon, or boating, or now this crazy running this business and trying to figure this out is one heck of an adventure because I have a degree in forestry and now I make lube.
I like that saying, venturing into the unknown. I think runners do that, don't we? Maybe your first 100 miler, I'm going to do that. My first 250
Or
is
even
venturing.
10K.
Or
First time,
well,
like, oh my
even
goodness, I've only run 2 miles and I'm going to try a
thank
10K.
you for that.
Yes.
So true. That is so true. Or actually just the adventure of what I'm going to start running. And you run with team in training, or you find a running club and you decide, well, let's do a 5K, and that's one step to the unknown, or you do a 10K, that's another step to the unknown, and the next thing you do is a marathon. And I think that's a huge adventure. And we all have that adventurous heart. It's opening that up inside of ourselves and stepping out and doing that. And I know as a kid myself, I used to climb over barbed wire fences and go wander out into the hills because I knew there was something out there and I wanted to go see it. And there were horses, there were cows, there were shepherds, and it was just so much fun because I'm always in the space of the unknown. And I was experiencing that the other day climbing up Mount Eldon with a 20-pound weight vest on. And I'm like, "Ugh, it's cold." I had a jacket on. The weight vest keeps me warm. But as every step I took, I'm like, I'm only going to do 90 minutes. No, I'm going to go up see that next turn. I'm going to go see that next turn. I'm going to get to the towers. And what it was at 50-mile-an-hour winds up
I
there?
know today, I don't know. It feels like it's blowing 50 here in town.
But I knew I wasn't going to fall over because I had a 20-pound weight vest on.
You were grounded.
I was very grounded for sure. Talk about what was your first inkling of exploring the unknown?
Well, growing up in Cool, that's right in like American River Canyon, my parents were amazingly trustworthy, and it was a different world back then for those who are in the older group. I'm 56. I don't know, is that old? I don't know,
That's not old
but things are
yet.
different now with a kid than it was back then. As far as there's no social media, no cell phones, you just simply go out and play and be back before dark. And that I didn't even have a map. I didn't know anything. You just go explore the trails, and the Western States Trail we did discover, my brother and I, right away. But lots of just camping down there with myself and with my friends and with Craig. And one thing leads to another. And now I feel like I'm very competent in the outdoor world.
So tell the folks we were talking earlier about his adventure into boating
Hmm.
and what you've discovered and what the amazing thing we can do to hone into our soul, hone into what's really deep inside of here instead of being connected to all the technology stuff.
First time the Grand Canyon speaks to me, feels like home. Originally, I was just running in there to the river, doing double crossings or whatever. And before it was a big deal, like now it's everybody knows what a rim to rim to rim is. Back then, it was just you just
Yeah.
simply went to the other side and back, and you were done. Um, so I don't even know how many times I've been to the river and back, at least 200 times. And I don't run anymore. But I began boating. I think the first time rolling through Grand Canyon on a boat was in 2003 summer trip, which is super duper hot, triple digits. And even in a big group, boy, that place, like, it was so nice to just be connected with that current. And even though there's a big group and lots of talking and dynamics of lots of people, I knew I just wanted to keep coming back on the river.
Mm.
So now I've been fortunate to have done, I think, 16 private trips, and 8 of those have been by myself, including this last solo, January 2025. I took a wooden dory down by myself in January. And
What's a wooden dory?
a dory is basically like a wooden work boat. Really, it's very robust. It can hold a lot of weight. All of your gear is underneath the deck, so there are hatches. Very clean, sexy boat. But at the same time, it rides differently than a raft. And if you do crash into a rock, then it usually breaks apart, and you have to just try to figure out if you have enough bubble gum and duct tape to put it together just to get you downstream and fix
Oh,
it when you get
wow.
back to flag.
Wow,
So it
wow,
really ups the ante on vulnerability of the craft. That really was an even more intimate connection with the river and that dory that I call Tejas, which is the light within us in Sanskrit.
wow. Nice. Awesome. So what was your exploration and what keeps drawing you back to that? What's your search here?
Each trip is different when I go down by myself and with others. It's been a while since I went on a group trip. I think maybe 2016 was my last group trip.
Wow.
And it's really, it's definitely fun to do the rapids. I love running rapids, but it's really the quiet time in between the rapids, and especially just the time at camp in that stillness and quietness in the rapids and that environment by myself makes me feel much more vulnerable. I am not I'm not invincible. I can be taken out. And so that allows me to go pretty deep within myself without
Mm.
forcing. Like here in Flagstaff, if I want to meditate, it's like a forced thing. For me, I'm going to choose to meditate or quiet myself. And down there for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, it's just natural. That's all you are in is a meditative state. And that is one hell of a gift.
That is one hell of a gift. And to be able to be comfortable with that unknown, be able to, because I'm going to guess every time you do that, there's something different that
Something
happens
different.
that
Or
you
it could
have
be
to,
that I feel different because I'm in a different place in my life or just everything, business, relationship, whatever,
yeah,
different craft, like a wooden dory instead of a raft. So absolutely, yeah,
nice.
it feels different every time. And if it ever gets to be just the same old thing and I'm not feeling like there's growth, then I won't do it alone anymore. I'll definitely go with the group.
With
I
people.
still want to be down there, but if I'm not feeling like, because there's a decent risk exposure going alone. There is with a group as well, but definitely heightened with going alone. And so if I'm not feeling the growth, I'll definitely stop that.
So, do you ever go through a stage of like feeling, mm, I have two words, either alone or lonely? Because for me, I love the connection with people and that interaction. But then there's that other element of really being deep into my soul and who I am and taking on that adventure of really being alone. But did you ever feel like you miss people when you're out
I
there?
have figured out pretty quickly from my first solo, which was in 2010, to not crave people. But then once I finally run across a group, passing them or whatever, then I realize I'm a chatty Cathy and I want to connect and talk to everyone. But I try not to let myself crave.
You're open to if it's happening, but also honoring
Right,
the self in
right.
that element too. When I met Natu, I was with lots of running people, always around people, running, laughing, talking, and Natu's real quiet.
Yeah.
And then we get just, and then we've been together so long, so he's not the chatty Cathy
How
with
long have
me.
you guys been together?
It will be 17 years in another week.
Wow.
Yep. Married, well, 10 years last June, so it'll be 11 years this June. But it just feels like yesterday.
Yeah. He's downstairs. He
We're
can't
talking
hear us.
about he can't hear us. It doesn't matter if he did hear us, actually. But it fumbled me because it's like I wanted to talk and he didn't, but it taught me more to run by myself and to be able to enjoy me out there in so now I find myself going out there in the nature and just loving everything that's out there because that's where we're connected.
Well, have you heard that saying? I don't know who said this a long time ago, but music is the space between the notes. That's what creates the music.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a bunch of
Noise.
noise. So you're learning
Oh,
the music.
thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that. That's perfect.
I don't know who originally said that, but that always resonated with me.
Well, you guys can look it up, or I'll look it
Yeah.
up, put it in the show notes.
Music is the space between the notes.
That's where the quietness happens.
Yeah.
And invite you guys who are listening to this, really honor that time when you're have the opportunity to explore the unknown and be with yourself. We talked a lot about the spiritual side of life. We are actually spiritual beings in this body. And I want to give kudos to out the universe for giving me this body.
You did a great job. I don't know if they, capital T, were intending you to run 250 miles, but yes,
But it's the
you were
energy, it's
gifted.
the energy inside of us, right? It's the energy that draws us, it's the energy that gets us going and how we manage that and take care of that. Now, if we're stuck into that, there's so much stress in this world right now that all most people right now are so in the element of stress and fear.
Oh,
And what if you took some time to go out into nature for a little bit? COVID did that. In Auburn, COVID did that. The people from Sacramento came up to Auburn to start hiking the
mm.
trails. So why did one time in 2020 change people's lives for a little bit and then they went back doing the same old thing? I used to take my kids out backpacking when they were little kids. I used to take my kids out. I took them up to Robinson Flat because they were teenagers that were actually teenagers invaded by aliens. That's what I called them. And I take them up there and they're running around and in nature and they're like, Mom, why'd you bring us here? I'm like, well, look at you guys. Be adventurous, be out there.
It's funny there, speaking of the pandemic, we had a big increase in sales during the pandemic, new customers, and we were still definitely growing. We're only 11 years old, but it was very interesting. Like people weren't just staying in their homes, they were getting out and needing lubrication for their skin. So
Right.
funny you brought that up. People were getting out.
They were getting out, but they're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
They're not
We're
doing
back,
that anymore.
back on
Back
the couch.
to, yeah, on the couch. So who's going to get off the couch and run a? There was a girl. What race was I to? Oh, I was doing the Crown
Crown
King
King.
Scandal. There was a girl who went from the couch to 50K, and her mom had a big sign. We trained from couch to 50K for her mom and her.
And she made it?
She made it.
Oh, good.
She cried at the summit when
That's
we
not
got
easy
to the
at
summit.
first.
No, it's
That's a big
not.
long climb.
Yeah.
And it's all exposed in the sun.
And it was a hot day, but that was pretty cool to
Nice.
see. A lot of fun, a lot of young kids getting out there doing things that are inspired by us old people that are doing it.
There's another gentleman in Flagstaff, I believe his name is Cody, and I can't think of his last name, but he's going couch to Cocodona is his goal, and lives here in Flagstaff. I forget his last name.
250?
Apologies. He's just a work in progress of truly the couch to he wants to do Cocodona 250. And I don't know if he's in this year's race. It seems like it might be a little bit off, a little bit too soon in his progression, but
Actually,
Cody, I'm sorry if you're listening. I don't have your last name.
I will have to
I'm
look.
sorry.
Up.
He came by our office, and we gave you some squirrel's nut butter for your adventure.
Nice. That well, I would love. Cody sounds familiar, but I mean I know another Cody, and it's not
Yeah.
the. I wonder what his last name is. So
Hopefully it's Cody. My brain.
whatever. So what? Dive into squirrel nut butter, and you, as the owner, tell us why. What is it about it? And I'll have my own personal thing, but and how we talked, and it's like, well, I'm making this contraption too, but not what he does.
Well,
And
it's
so
very similar.
what is it?
It's very similar. We both use natural ingredients.
Right?
And Stacy originally created the salve for eczema to use natural ingredients instead of Western medicine, like cortisone creams and whatnot. And really just trying to hydrate the skin. With eczema, you'll get a crack, some bleeding perhaps from scratching, and then bacteria will enter that little cracked wound, and then you'll get an inflammation process, and then you continue scratching it. So she just figured we just try to hydrate the skin, again, using natural ingredients. And she started using basically 4 ingredients: coconut oil, cocoa butter, beeswax, vitamin E. And at that time, there were a couple of other ones that we have omitted for nut allergies. We used to use a sunflower oil as well as a sweet orange essential oil, but citrus allergies and nut allergies, we decided to make it as simple as possible for our original green label. I used to own a tree service, and one of my climbers, a very talented climber, I had nicknamed him Squirrel because the way he moved through the tree. And we gave him some product to give to his partner for her skin. And he decided to use it for mountain biking in his shorts. So I said, why not call it Squirrel's Nut Butter? Possessive S, it says nut butter. We had no idea. We're in 25 countries now, and I was just like, I can't believe this. What a crazy, but it was not forced, total organic. We weren't trying to start a company or anything. It was just having fun with it, and the vibes there. And I think the brand definitely, you can feel the human component, and it is about taking care of yourself and community, being connected, and then hopefully we can bring you a little bit of money too. But the community is a priority, and skin health, and everything you put on your skin, it just gets absorbed. So, like I said, I used to be just into trees and diesel motors and chainsaws, and now I'm making these killer salves like you've been doing for a long time.
Well, I discovered it. When I was working, the girls around me, we all got into this health, natural stuff, and I don't remember how I got this ingredient for face cream.
Uh-huh.
And it was coconut oil, shea butter, beeswax, and almond oil I used.
Yep.
And then the vitamin E, and then I add a bunch of different essential oils from doTERRA. I put some frankincense, some are lavender, peppermint, because it just feels so good on the skin. But I went, and then we met, and you're doing the same thing, and it's like, that's the way to go.
Well, and the funny thing is, like, that's how we started. It wasn't like we're going to start a business.
Right.
And then we just happened to go down the path of, well, people at Keys used it in 2015 before we were a company, used it at Western States 100 miler as an anti-chafe on his third time through that race. And he finished and was like, man, that's the least amount of chafing I've ever had.
Nice.
And so we knew we had something
Nice.
we could target for runners. And so I put all my energy into that the last 10 years in the trail ultra running community through my connections and background and whatnot. So now we're pivoting a bit. We'll still stay very integrated in the trail ultra world, but just trying to explore other markets because it really is just for anyone with skin.
It is anybody with skin issues and whatnot.
And folks with amputations and prosthetics, that silicone sleeve that goes on the stump is a very challenging environment for the skin. And so our product, our green label product, we've had tremendous feedback that it's just been
Nice.
life altering.
Nice. Oh, wow. That's so cool to hear.
So it'd be nice to just eventually work our product in the third world countries and just simply give the product to those experiencing that. Starting with kids or what?
Well, you don't think about that. Look at I think there's a couple of Amy's that had prostheses that had ran Western States, and a lot of runners that have the prosthesis from the knee down, and amazing. My only comment was we do races in the rain, and that is awesome. The squirrel nut butter is awesome because it doesn't wash away and it stays applicable. I usually put it underneath my sports bra, and even through wet conditions, it's perfect.
And on your feet, it's a hydrophobic salve, so it's the beeswax and the oils, so it repels water. So your feet, it resists maceration. Eventually, if you're doing a multi-day race in the rain, you're going to get macerated.
Yes,
and you'll have to
dry them out.
You'll have to dry them out and then switch to a talc. Once they're macerated, you get away from the salve. You go to talc and dry socks and talc and dry socks. So
last year, I know I got a little packet with it. I love that thing.
Yep, we call those the adventure packets.
So
throw them in your pocket.
You can throw them in your pocket. The other thing is I can just hold it in my hand if it's cold and warm it up, and then it comes out perfect. So you have these little tubes, which are great too. Really easy to carry, super easy to carry.
The adventure packets, I think, we nailed it with that. We have that in all of both the original, we call it the OG, and then frankincense and lavender, and then our peppermint and tea tree.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, tea tree here somewhere.
Besides the shea butter, we're very close.
I know that's what I was super impressed with. It's like, oh my gosh.
And we use cocoa butter instead of shea butter. So, yep.
So what's the difference between the shea and the cocoa?
I'm not positive on a scientific level, the difference on the benefit for the skin one way or the other, but as far as a final product that's sitting on the shelf, the cocoa butter is more resistant to granules in shea butter if you don't expedite the cooling when you're pouring it, and it can tend to get little beads. And our product does that as well with just the right environment. It'll get BB, which is
the beeswax.
Which is not, it all works the same.
Right.
It's just if somebody paid for it, they really want it to be Jiffy peanut butter, which is perfect. And nice those little beads will melt if you just put them on your warm skin. But that's why we shipped it to cocoa butter.
Another thing we've talked about too is sunblock. And we had a conversation earlier about that. And my opinion on sunblock is that I hear so many people saying, stay out of the sun because you'll get cancer. Well, I don't believe that's true. I believe the sun's been in our lives forever. And hundred thousands of years ago, they didn't use sunblock, but their skin got wrinkled. And as you age, of course, your skin's going to get wrinkled. But the sun didn't give me cancer. What gave me cancer was the product you put on your skin that has all those chemicals in it that gives you cancer. Because what you put on your skin is soaked into the skin. And if it's all chemicals, so zinc.
Yep, non-nano zinc.
So what I do when I make my stuff is I have it in a little jar and then I make extra and I put it in another little jar and I put my zinc in there. And so it's either really white or I haven't figured that out, but I don't care.
And the very best stuff, so there are different size, excuse me, size zinc particulates. And if it's small enough, I think that's nano size, it can still be absorbed, but it's a mineral-based sunscreen and you still have all the other natural ingredients instead of the ingredient list. If you look at whatever, I won't name another
We
brand,
don't need to name the product.
you don't even know what any of the ingredients
Right.
are in that list.
If you can't pronounce it,
So if you had the stuff that's white or that's staying on the surface, that is the best stuff. Even if you look like Casper the Ghost or whatever, that truly is the best. And so what I have created sunscreen SPF 50. We haven't brought it to market yet, and to change the color a little bit, but still use natural ingredients. I use cacao powder, and the fluorescent white and the zinc and the tan create a really light purple, like the wall behind us, which is cool. It's different, but we haven't brought it to market yet. My team hasn't.
can you do it by Cocodona and I can go around with the purple paste?
I will have some specifically for you. We just won't bring it to market because that's next month.
That's in 3
Kind of
weeks,
busy. Yeah.
actually.
Oh, it's 3 weeks, 21 days. Are you counting the hours?
I'm counting.
Speaking of, how excited are you about that? That's a big deal. What's your longest race before that?
140. I've done Route 66, 140. We run from Seligman to Topak, but that's on road. That's Route 66. That's fine. And I had a crew with me the whole time. Fine. It's on road, but it's a time on the feet. First time around, I think I did in 39 hours. Last year I did in 41 hours. But this is different. I look at this different because it's a lot of it's all trails. There's some road to be going to
Barely.
Prescott
It's
or
250 miles.
No.
It's
But there's
sprinkling of road.
which will be a gift for a little bit.
Probably.
But it's the first 37 with 11,000 feet of climbing. It's the downhills, which are Arizona is nothing but rocky. And I get real nervous on the loose rocks of going kaboom and pick my way through that. I know the last section will be boulders and I can sit down and slide. I'm not going to be that kid that was flying down that on his hands and knees and oh my God.
I miss that.
He was flying all over the place. But
He was in the race?
no, he was just doing his own thing. We were out there training last Monday. I'm super excited and I feel super confident. I feel super ready for it. I feel well trained for it. So
Love it.
I'm super excited.
What's going to be the best part besides the completion? What do you think? Like the actual go, and you're no longer waiting for it, you're in it, or what do you think? What are you looking for?
Well, you said I can't, it'd be the
Finish, of course. Duh.
Well, I'll be the finish, but I have ran almost all the sections. So I ran the first 37. I ran from Crown King to Camp Wamanichik. I can never say that wrong. I'll call it Camp W. But I then Prescott's all downhill. And I ran from the Sedona Posse Grounds to Schnebly, and I ran Schnebly to Munns. I ran Fort Tuthill to Wildcat to the finish. So I ran, only part I haven't ran was pretty much Jerome to Dead Horse and Deer Park. I haven't done that section. So I feel confident that I've done all that. I feel confident that I am climbing well. I feel really good climbing. I think my legs are gotten stronger. Wearing a 20-pound weight vest helps.
Nuts.
But it was like when going up Eldon, even the altitude, because I got up to 91, it was 91.83 or something.
Okay.
And I was like, I just felt good.
You're ready.
So I feel super ready, and I'm doing visualizations on sections.
Mm.
I'm really visualizing the coming down those boulders, and just the energy. And when we do visualizations, you have to embody it. You have that image. And I found that when I started visualizing it, all this fear came up
Mm.
because that's the scariest
Yeah.
part. And I'd love to get to Wildcat in the day, early morning, so I can do
Mm.
that in during the day.
Daytime.
Yeah, is my goal. So it's like feeling good every time I get to an aid station is what I want.
Good. I can't wait to see it. I volunteer at the Fort Tuthill aid station, so I'll get to see
So
you with just over 200 miles on
you
your
get a
feet.
hug. I think it's 103.
Or 213,
No, it's not 203.
211, 213. Does that sound right?
Maybe that.
I've worked there since the beginning, but I don't know. I just feed meatballs and
Oh my God, Chris, thank you. What I asked my guests to leave a word of wisdom to our listeners. What can you leave our listeners?
I most mornings when I wake up, not every morning, especially when I'm under stress, try to set an intention for the day to just try the best I can for that day. And obviously, some days are going to be more productive, even with the same 100% effort than others. But at least if I can finish the day off and leave behind whatever it was, but know that I tried the best I could. You're not gonna please everybody in this world, but I think that's helpful. That's helpful to deal with when you're feeling really stressed and overwhelmed. Like it just puts it into the back burner. Like, okay, is it really that important? I guess it is, but you still got to be happy.
That's right. You still got to be happy.
Yep.
Got to be happy. You guys be happy. Thank you, Chris.
Yep. Thank you, Karen.